What's up guys, I'm going to do another Black Ops 4 video. In today's video we're going to be talking about leaderboards and Treyarch's new changes to third-party APIs and third-party leaderboards websites for Black Ops 4. So as I'm sure you guys know already, Treyarch has shut down all third-party leaderboard websites, and this has made it so websites like COD Tracker are no longer available for Black Ops 4, so you can't actually check any stats for yourself or any other players through this because Treyarch and Activision have actually cut all ties with them and don't allow them to access their API. Well, this upset a lot of people because this was the only way you could actually check leaderboards and stats and things in Black Ops 4 because there's no in-game leaderboard system, there's no in-game combat record, and this was the closest thing we had to it. Well, a lot of people were really upset because since Treyarch doesn't even have one in-game, and then they went out of their way to take out third-party ways of tracking stats and leaderboards, it was kind of seen as just a really bad move for them. But some people were speculating that maybe this means that they're actually going to be rolling out their own leaderboard system, that they're just taking out all third-party ones, going to be putting out a first-party leaderboard system in the game. That way there'll be no need for any of these third-party ones. But Treyarch didn't comment on it at all, so they didn't say anything about it. The only thing we have heard about leaderboards so far was when the game was actually released. Treyarch said that leaderboards would be coming in an update like the following week, and of course we haven't had them since, and that was clear back in October, and here we are in March, and we do not have leaderboards yet in Black Ops 4, and we haven't heard anything about it. All the developers have been dodging comments about it, and there's been a lot of speculation as to why we don't have combat records and leaderboards and stuff. Some people say it's because of the player base, because you can check the leaderboards and see how many people have played the game total, and because Black Ops 4 hasn't done as well as previous Call of Duty games, such as the series all-time high with Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2 and Ghost around that era was the series all-time high. And it's fallen short of that significantly. They don't want players to actually be able to see the number of people who have played the game until it reaches a lot higher player count. Well, that's just one idea of why this has happened, but I don't think it's actually like that. I think that they're just taking time to actually create these, although it's kind of interesting that in recent years we haven't actually seen combat records and leaderboards right off the bat of the game, that these stable features that have been in Call of Duty games from forever ago, that have always just been when the game came out, they're no longer in, and now they're seen as additional content now that they're released later, and it's supposed to be this great thing that they're releasing combat records to us when it was previously just a part of the regular game, and it wasn't like a surprise that we had to wait for these things to be added in. They were just in the game from the beginning. Well, we also recently had on Reddit a thread talking about the API trackers, and we got a reply from Activision Assist. So they actually came out with a statement about these third-party trackers that cleared up a lot of things about this. So this is what they said. They said, "We recently made changes to the Call of Duty Stats API to further safeguard the privacy of individuals' game data based on requests from players. This change temporarily restricts access to third-party websites and apps until we're able to roll out an improved API to allow third parties to work with game data in a way that also gives players greater control over their own privacy. Enhancements will be available in the coming weeks." So this is honestly a really great thing that they actually finally put out a statement talking about this, that it wasn't just a malicious thing just to take down these other things. It was because of privacy that they wanted to make sure that only certain data was being accessed through these APIs, and that they're going to be updating it and they're going to be making changes to it. So they say that they're temporarily restricting access to third-party websites, so that obviously means that they will eventually restore access to these websites, and hopefully by the time these third-party websites get back up, we will have an official leaderboards and combat record in Black Ops 4. I don't see any reason why Treyarch couldn't come up with this in the 5 months the game's been out, but we may never know. But I think that this is just going to basically mean that we'll get this hopefully really soon, and if it is based on a decision of player count, how they're trying to hide the low number of players who are active or just have played the game total, what they can do instead is they can make Blackout free to play, and that way, just like Apex Legends can do in probably a month, Black Ops 4 will probably hit about, I don't know, maybe even 10 million, an extra 10 million players if it comes free to play, and then that'd be a great way to showcase more players with this new leaderboard system. That way they don't have to wait for more people to buy the game on sale and whatnot and just wait a whole lot longer. They can just put out Blackout for be free to play, and then put out the leaderboards showing the increase of millions of players. So I don't know, what do you guys think of this in the comments down below? Why do you guys think that leaderboards haven't been released yet? And same with the combat record. I feel like the community is kind of hyping these up way too much. Like, you see a lot of comments on Reddit and Twitter about people wondering where combat records and leaderboards are and stuff. But then in reality, when these actually do come out, nobody's really going to even care. It's going to be like, oh, cool, combat record, leaderboards, all right. And then they're going to forget about it. Like, they're hyping it up way too much that it's going to be like this great thing, even though leaderboards and combat record really aren't that great of a thing. So I don't know why everyone's getting so upset about this and just hating Treyarch because they don't have a leaderboards and combat record, and just like wondering when it's going to come, and then apparently when it will come, it's going to be like the greatest update to the game, even when it's just a simple combat records and leaderboards. So what do you guys think of this in the comments down below? Are leaderboards and combat records actually a big deal at all? Does this third-party websites that track your stats and leaderboards and stuff, do they actually matter to you at all, or is this all just, you know, pointless things that you guys haven't even maybe heard about? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.